I recently put out a video on upgraded BMW key fobs. I showed you guys 3 different variations. One was the G series style key fob upgrade, which was the all silver metal one. Then there was the buttonless one that I used for the Supra, literally a little small square piece of metal and glass that had no buttons and it worked with comfort access. And lastly was the one that most people were excited for when I first introduced it to you guys on social media, and that was the all digital one. That video did surprisingly well, and I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for like the final review on the final product, which I have right here. It's kind of the final product. There's still a few shortcomings that I think need to be updated on the key fob. But anyways, in this video, I'm going to try to go ahead and give you guys an honest review whether this key fob, the digital version, is worth buying for the price that it sells for. Just like I mentioned in the other video, the packaging for the digital key fob, which is something that's normally overlooked on a lot of products, is very nice. High quality, soft touch, feels very good in the hand. Gates Innovation is a company that upgraded my specific key fob. So I sent them the F10 and 5 one for that baby right there, and they went ahead and did their magic trick, and now I have a digital form of that key fob. To go over some details here, maybe some of you guys are interested in hearing about it. Definitely has some weight to it. Weighs 82.5 grams. Feels like a high quality item for sure. Feels pretty strong and durable. It's primarily plastic all the way around. I know these M colors were updated recently compared to their prototype, which was like almost like a vinyl overlay. This is definitely etched on and should be a lot more durable going forward. You do have Gorilla Glass in the front, which should help with, you know, scratches and scrapes and stuff like that. You have some physical buttons here on the top, power off, power on. That's to essentially wake up the display and to make it go to sleep. You have the unlock button, lock button, and the trunk button, and then the last one right here is a port for USB Type-C cable. It's pretty easy to remove the flap there. It seems to seal that port really well, so this device should have some kind of moisture or water resistance. If I can find that information, I'll kind of just overlay here on video whatever that rating is. Key fob is powered by a rechargeable 450 milliamp hour battery, so it should last you a pretty long time. And for those that are scared that the battery may die on you, even after the battery dies, the comfort access features still work for up to an entire year. So with the digital key fob, you also get this very nice braided USB-C cable so you can charge it. And you get this OBD device that plugs into your car and is paired with the digital key fob. I think it's the one thing that I'm very excited to show you guys today. This is very good if your car doesn't have a comfort access. It kind of gives you comfort-ish access. I'll show you guys here in a bit. At the time of making this video, if you wanted to get your boring key fob upgraded to a digital one like this from Gates Innovation, it's currently priced at $275. I was told that they will be increasing the price very soon as they continue to update the firmware and just make it a lot better. So maybe it's something you guys might want to take advantage of soon. Whether it's worth the price, I guess it all kind of depends on the customer itself. How much are you willing to spend for something that is truly unique and not a lot of people have, right? The stock BMW key fob, like the one on my F10 and 5, it's just very boring. Even on the F30, the only thing they change is they add like a little blue halo around the buttons here, and I know some cars have like the red. It just doesn't look very good. If you're upgrading your E90 key, E90X chassis key, well, that would be an even bigger upgrade because those look even worse. So yes, you can get this on your E90X, F series, G series, and Toyota Supra A90X. Just keep in mind, if you want it for your E90X, you're gonna have to have comfort access because sadly this does not fit into the keyhole and won't be able to start your car. When you put both key fobs side by side, it's a clear choice which one looks better. It's definitely this one, feels better in the hand, and I don't know, it's just nicer to show to other people if you're into that kind of thing. I don't care how much of a purist you are, this key fob is just, it's not it. It's very easy to operate this key fob, guys. Like I said, you have the physical buttons on the side in case you don't want to get into the screen, which was a big knock that a lot of you guys were commenting about in the other videos, like why have a digital screen when you can have physical buttons? Well, you have both. So you have the lock button and you got the unlock button. Very simple. We'll go ahead and lock it again, hold it down, and there you go, your mirrors fold. You also have the trunk button here. Opens the trunk. Sadly, there's no option to close the trunk from far away. You gotta physically go up to the trunk, press the button, or you use your foot here to close it. Moving on to the most controversial thing about this key fob, it's the one big criticism a lot of you guys gave it in the comment section of that original video for the prototype. This specific key fob, or at least the final-ish version, does have upgraded internals, so it should perform a lot better. Let's go ahead and wake up the screen. This is what it looks like, the front screen. So you have lock and unlock. I know a lot of you guys said it didn't make any sense to have these controls on a touchscreen when your original key fob just has physical buttons, which is much easier. Well, I mean, you do have physical buttons right here, and if you want to use your on-screen buttons, well, they're right here for you to use as well. As far as the BMW symbol here at the bottom, it can be swapped out. It's currently rocking the anniversary one. If you hold down the symbol, you do get some choices. Weird that you have Mercedes in there and Ford and Audi, but anyways, you can change it to the M badge, and there you go, you get the M badge. I'm gonna go ahead and hold down the M symbol, then I could go ahead and select the original BMW badge. There you go, classic look. It does say on Gates Innovation's website that you can change the wallpaper so you can really customize it to your liking. I haven't attempted to do that yet, but I think that's something that I'll probably do soon. So there are multiple screens, and once I swipe to the next screen, you guys are going to point it out just like in the first video. Yes, there's a noticeable delay. A lot of you guys were pretty upset because I did not mention it in the first video, but I did it on screen. It was pretty noticeable and very obvious. It was a prototype, so I didn't want to really criticize, you know, the device. But now that this is kind of like the final product, I can talk about it. If you guys are like super tech enthusiast, yeah, this is probably going to bother you. If you have a custom built PC that can run games at, you know, 4K 120 frames per second, yeah, it's probably going to bother you, especially since a lot of our phones nowadays have like quad HD AMOLED displays that can, you know, have refresh rates of 120 hertz. But you guys have to understand the price point as well. If they incorporated something that was a lot more modern, or a screen that's a better performer, then it would reflect in the price and it would be a lot more expensive. This is a niche product, and I'm sure it's not mass produced to keep the cost down. So this is what you get. That's the delay that you get, and it's up to you whether it's gonna, you know, influence your decision to buy it or not. Would I have liked a better quality screen? Absolutely. Everybody wants the best they can get, right, for the lowest amount of money possible. But I'm sure they had a reason to incorporate this kind of screen here that, you know, it's not the flashiest, but it gets the job done. And to be honest, when you're using the controls, it's very, very responsive. It's just a delay between screens, which is something that they're working on, and I'm sure they're going to improve upon with a future update, since they apparently have enough processing power to get a better running animation. So on the second screen, you have the trunk, and then you have the alarm for the car. Hold it down. And then on the third screen, you have the keyless entry settings. This is what I was telling you guys about with that OBD port that I showed you guys earlier. It allows you to have comfort-ish access if you don't have comfort access on your F-Series car, which is very cool. Even if you have a comfort access car, there's still some benefit to be had. So how comfort access normally works, right? With your BMW, you'll have the key fob in your pocket. You go up to the door handle, and that's it. Opens the door. And then when you're ready to go, you just put your finger over the sensor here, and it locks the car. For BMWs without comfort access, like my F30, got the keys right here. No comfort access. And as you guys can see, there's no sensor here neither. Go ahead and demonstrate this proximity access. With my F10 M5, you do have the adapter, which we're going to plug into the port, which is right underneath the dashboard here. That's it. Insert it. All right, so to set everything up, you go to the key fob, you go to that third menu, you press it, then proximity lock, unlock, you want to enable that, and then the override function at the bottom, just disable that, and then you're good to go. So the key fob is on me. I'm not pressing anything. I'm just going to hold on to it, and I'm going to walk up to the M5, and we'll see if it works. As you guys can see, the M5 unlocked, I didn't have to do anything. It's proximity based. So there's a settings menu here in the key fob that allows you to, I guess, edit the range that it works in. I put it at like one of the lowest, the second lowest. That's how that works. So we're close, the car is open. Imagine that, if you don't have comfort access, it's pretty sweet. All right, so now I'm gonna walk away with the key fob, not touching it, just holding it by its edges. And it locked. Now I'm gonna walk back this way, and it unlocked. That's pretty freaking cool, even if you have comfort access. because it does it all for you. Oh, there's actually one more thing I wanted to show you guys that you can do with the proximity thing too. So apparently you can mess with the windows going up by itself as you're walking away as well. So got both windows, driver side, passenger side, down. Let's see. Farther. Okay. Let me get farther. Alright, so I'm walking up. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. If you forget to lock your door, you forgot to close your windows, kind of does it all for you. That's pretty sweet. So how that entire process works, Gates Innovation sends you this that's paired to the key fob that they make for you. You plug it into the OBD port. Since the OBD port is technically always on and operating, it gives off a signal. Once the key is close enough, it detects the signal, it sends the signal back to the car to unlock the doors or lock the doors or close the windows. That's pretty much how it works. So that was the third page. Fourth page is something we just went over. It's the window function to close by themselves, which I have it enabled. Then we have the fifth screen here where you can put your contact information in case you lose the key. You can put your name, contact information, and hopefully a good person will reach out and let you know that they found it. And then the last screen here, once you go to settings, we have hardware, which just shows you the current firmware for the key, which is firmware Gates V1.0, which I believe is the latest one. They will be providing more firmware updates as time passes by to keep polishing, the software. The second menu here on settings is proximity, where you can dial in the range that you want it to work at. So I had it set to not the shortest range, but the second shortest. You can do long range as well. So, the car unlocks or locks at a further range, obviously. So at the moment, that's all the features they have on the digital key fob. I was told they're gonna continue to add features in the future, really cool stuff. I thought the proximity option was very neat and something that I've never seen or heard about before. The one thing I really don't like about the key fob is, right, you have a settings menu here at the end, but you can't adjust brightness. Like you can't make it brighter, you can't, make it dimmer so you can save battery life. You can't adjust when the screen goes to sleep, which I think is rather annoying because I can be in one of the menus here and then quickly look away because I got distracted, and then I come back and the screen's off and it resets you all the way to the very first page, so now I have to swipe away all the way to wherever I was at and kind of start from scratch. So I kind of wish you can customize a lot more things in the settings menu, but I'm sure with future firmware updates, maybe things like that will get added on. Another small negative thing that I noticed while using the key fob, it could be just a quality control issue with these key fobs, but these buttons, so like the bottom three buttons are fine, very tactile, very responsive, but the power button, it's not as good. You see, I'm pressing, but nothing's really happening. You see, I'm pressing it, and there's really nothing happening, and you can kind of feel a little bit of a tactile, but if you press it dead on the center, it works perfect, right? But let's say you have it in your pocket or you're not really looking and you just press it on the side. I'm putting a good amount of pressure. Nothing happens. That could just be the unit that I received from Gates Innovation, but definitely something that I noticed while using it. You really have to hit it dead on for it to work. Not something that I remember with the prototype, but with this final version, it's definitely something going on there. Huge thing that I'm probably not a big fan of is that it's gloss black all the way around. When it's clean, it looks absolutely amazing, and I wouldn't have it any other way. But when you're actually using it in the real world, look at all the fingerprints I left on it, all the dirt, oil, and stuff that's all visible. It goes from glossy black to a matte black. So that's, I guess, another con, but that's a con that a lot of cell phones have too. So carry microfiber cloth or some kind of a towel with you, I guess, if you want to keep it clean at all times. So for $275, is it worth the upgrade? I mean, let's look at some of the positives, right? It looks really cool. Definitely looks a lot better like the E chassis, F chassis keys. G series keys, that's debatable, but it looks a lot better. It definitely has some weight to it. It feels like it's quality. You have physical buttons, you got the digital buttons, and of course you have like that comfort access proximity sensor thing. which I thought was really, really cool. And I think it's just a very good conversation starter. If you're at a gathering or party or some kind of business meeting, I think this sparks up really good conversations and questions. And it's very unique. It's like almost nobody has these. Like if you're gonna meet somebody with a BMW, the chances of them having one of these, it's very rare. So it's unique. I guess some other positives is that they can keep adding features. It's updatable literally through the USB wire. And you never know. The sky's the limit as far as features goes. As far as negatives, I mean, the screen, if you're really a tech enthusiast like that and this bothers you, then you might not want to get this key. For the everyday person, like my wife, she saw this key, she absolutely loved it, and she would definitely buy it the way it is. And maybe you won't care. It's still functional, and I said the buttons are very responsive anyways, so that's not an issue. And maybe they can fix a lot of the performance issues through updates later on. Again, settings, you can adjust the brightness, you can adjust the sleep time for the screen, stuff like that. So I'm hoping they add features like that later on. The quality control, like I mentioned earlier, the power button, pressing it, nothing happens. You really have to be dead on. And I guess the last negative thing is just the questionable durability or reliability over time. These type of key fobs are pretty new to the market. It's not a lot of data on it, not a lot of occurrences and accidents. Like what would happen if I just dropped it from, you know, this height right now? I don't want to try it, should I? I don't know, that's another thing, right? With even cell phones, when you have like the latest Gorilla Glass, you can still crack the screens and they're very expensive. You know, if you crack the screen on this one, you know, how would Gates Innovation handle that, you know? So that's another thing. You would have to be super careful with this key. With the prototype, I did end up dropping it once and I just got a couple of scuffs here in the corner. But the screen was fine. It was pretty durable. That's the only other negative thing. Before we close out the video, I want to quickly talk about this key fob upgrade right here, which is also offered through Gates Innovation. The reason I want to talk about it is because it's $100 less than the digital key fob. It's been around longer, it's been refined, and I really like it. This is what the key fob for the E90 335 used to be, and this is what it is now. All metal on the sides. You have the M colors here, metal for the buttons, no screen. Very durable. I already dropped this twice and it's only $175. Knowing what I know now, if I had to upgrade one of my key fobs, you know, start all over, I'd probably upgrade to this one right here, the G series one. Knowing me, I'd probably break this within a month or two of using it just because I always drop my keys. That said, I think that the digital key fob will eventually be the better choice and the better upgrade, especially after, you know, all the updates and all the new features that they add to it. I think this is going to be the go-to. If you're not a person that drops your keys all the time, this is probably going to be the go-to because you can purchase it now at a lower rate and still benefit from all the future updates. Probably the best choice long term, but if it was me and I was upgrading my key fob today and I had comfort access on an E series, or if you just had an F series car, this would probably be it. This one doesn't really make sense if you already own a G series BMW or have an E90 Supra because it's pretty much the same key fob from factory. So then at that point, then it might make sense to upgrade to the digital one. Again, I'll leave links to Gates Innovation's website down in the description below if you guys want to learn more about these key fob upgrades. They are affiliate links, so if you guys make a purchase, it does help support the channel at no extra cost to you guys. Make sure to subscribe for more BMW content, and if you enjoyed the video, appreciate it if you hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. And as always, thanks for watching. Till next time.